Hey, welcome. So I am going to be really honest, as I always promise to be. And this is pretty vulnerable talk here, but I think that it's an important conversation and something that I want to be talking about. So I have been really struggling. After breast cancer, I was put on an antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication. And to be completely honest, I have had anxiety, depression issues in the past, starting with the death of a friend when I was in college. And so this is not unfamiliar territory to me. I've been to many therapists and as I think many of us have. And I also have been on and off, various medications throughout the decades of my life since that time, since young adulthood. And I knew that this was something I needed. I was seeing a oncological psychiatrist, I believe is what he's called, through an organization here locally. And I knew at the time that the medication was something I needed. So it's been many years now. I was diagnosed, actually, my chemo started 5 years ago yesterday. So that was quite a day. But it's been a while. And I feel like I have learned a lot of ways to help myself. And not that I'm anti-medication. Obviously, I just said I've taken a lot of different medications in my life. But I do also feel like when I am capable of not needing a medication, I like to get it out of my body and return my body to its natural healing state. So all that to say, my psychiatrist and I had been talking for quite a while about starting to decrease one of the supplemental anti-anxiety medications that I was on. And I waited until what I thought was kind of like past winter to do that, because I do, like a lot of people, definitely notice my anxiety and my mood change when it's winter and when it's darker and colder. And so we specifically waited, and I started tapering off the medication about a week ago. And I knew that it was possible that I might feel kind of fatigued, maybe a little bit antsy or edgy just while I decreased the medication. And I'm not at this point completely going off the medication. It was just a decrease in the hopes that I will be able to move off the medication, because I feel that I'm at that place. Well, I have been, like I said, struggling quite a bit. Not to the point of struggling of I'm feeling depressed or I'm feeling panic attacks or anxiety attacks, anything like that. I want to be clear that I don't feel like I need to go back on the medication right now, or try something else. But what's been happening is, as the medication is leaving my body, right, my brain has gotten used to living as me with this medication. And now it's I see it as this rebirth of me without the medication, or with half of it at this point, right? And so I have been feeling anxious. I've been feeling crawling out of my skin feeling. I feel like there's an elephant on my chest at times. And what I want to talk about with that is two things. One, as I said a minute ago, I felt like I was ready to decrease and go off of this medication because I feel and I know that I know different tools and practices to help me that I think could carry me through without being on the medication. However, I just couldn't do them. Like, I knew if I got on my mat and I put on, an energy practice or some tapping, I knew meditation, I knew it would help me feel better. But I just couldn't even get there. Like, I could not get my body on the mat. And I think that this is common, and we just talk about like, oh, we know the tools, we have all these tools in our toolbox, but let's also be really fucking honest that sometimes it's hard to even access the tools. Like, sometimes our brain wants to complicate shit and it doesn't want things to just be easy. Like, I could have just rolled out my mat and probably felt better, but I didn't, and I don't know why. But I also recognize, like, this is my body chemically changing, right? It chemically changed before, and now it's like recalibrating, right? And chemically changing again. And the second thing that I think is important to talk about this is this idea of how comfortable we are, or lack thereof, our lack of comfort with our discomfort. This has been really interesting for me to go through over the past week or so, because in my vulnerability and honesty, I've shared this with people. I even sent an email out to my email list about how I've been feeling, and received very heartfelt messages, and also messages of people saying like, hey, just so you know, like, it's okay if you go back on the medication. Like, if you don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel this way. And I also know that it's temporary. And if it gets to a place where I feel like I need to seek medical help, of course I will do that. And there's no right or wrong, right, with this. Like, I'm not saying that if I chose to or choose to go back on that former dose that I failed, or that there's anything wrong with it. Like, there's no right or wrong. It's just been this interesting experience for me of, I know this is what I'm supposed to be feeling right now. Like, chemically, I know this is what it's doing, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like how it feels. And there have been times over the past week to 10 days of doing this where I've been like, fuck, is this even worth it? Like, I don't want to feel like this. I like being who I am. And maybe I'm that person when I'm on this medication, and maybe it's too hard for my brain and my body to remember how to be that person without it. And not in an addictive way, but in a like, is it worth it for me to do this? And I share that because I have a choice to make, right? Like, I can stick with this path that I'm trying and sit in the discomfort, and hopefully, like I did yesterday and the day before, like, use the tools that I know to help me through it. Or I can choose to go back to the former dose and probably not feel the things, this discomfort that I'm feeling. And I think it's important to talk about that because there's no shame either way. It's simply that it's a choice. And I think so often in my past, like, I've been itching to get out of that discomfort and not sit in it, right? And so my default would be to do. Like, whatever the discomfort was, like, I would move my body and my brain out of it so that I didn't have to feel it. So for me, that typically, former pre-breast cancer Amy, looked like overworking. Like I would work so that I didn't feel whatever it was I was feeling, and I didn't have to think about whatever it was I was feeling. And thankfully, like I'm grateful to have some of those tools that I have now, because I am in a space now where I feel like I know that I have power and control to some degree over me and like over my body and what decisions, like what I'm willing to tolerate, what I'm willing to, what discomfort I'm willing to feel in order to get to wherever it is that I want to go. Because while, I talked about like the medication impacting the brain, what I also know is that on an energetic level, tapering off this medication, just like any like life shaking experience such as cancer or anything else you might go through, it causes a disruption in our energy cycle. And so the energy is not flowing as beautifully and as naturally through my energetic system as maybe it once was before. And so knowing tools and ways to repair and recalibrate my energy has been critical over the past 48 hours. Like I said, I knew what I needed to do over the past week or 10 days, but it was only in the past 48 hours that I really like got on the mat and did things that I know. So that might be taking a walk. It might be dancing. It might be tapping. In my work with clients, we go deeper into ways that we can recalibrate that energetic system. For me, over the past 48 hours, it has looked like doing an energetic practice, right? Like doing my lower abdomen tapping on my solar plexus, because those two areas are essentially lacking in energy. Like all of the energy is up here and it's causing all the heat in my head, and I'm just staying in my head. And when I'm doing that, then I'm ruminating about like, oh my gosh, it's the anniversary of chemo. Like, how am I going to feel? And all those feelings and emotions from 5 years ago come up and I swirl in them, as opposed to this cycle, right? And think of it as like an even spread of energy throughout my body. And what we know is that where attention goes, like where we focus, is where our energy flows, right? And so if all I'm doing is focusing up here and ruminating, I'm further turning myself into the anxiety and the overthinking and all of the things that I'm like the elephant on my chest, like all the things I'm trying to avoid, I'm actually staying stuck in that same cycle, where I know that if I can pull my energy down and I can bring energy into my sacral space and into my solar plexus and take some of that out of my upper body, out of my head, that's going to alleviate. And that's what I experienced over the past 48 hours, was like through doing my practices, that energy shifted and it recalibrated. It like spread out in the way that it does and went to where it needed to go. So by focusing on my solar plexus and my sacral space, my second and third energy centers, my focus was there. And so it pulled energy into those spaces. And that was what helped me not feel anxious. It helped take that heavy burden off of my chest that I was feeling. And it helped me remember like my own personal power and my power of choice. So I just wanted to talk about my own experience with that, as far as like navigating not just a decrease in medication, like that's what I'm dealing with right now, but it very much mirrors times in my cancer journey where I was like shaken up, right? If you think about it, we use that phrase, like it shook you up. Well, think about your energy inside of you, like you are energy. And so it literally has shaken you up. And there are things that I can do to settle that energy. And yet sometimes we just overcomplicate things and we don't do them. Or sometimes we don't want to even feel the shit. We don't want to sit in the muck and rebirth after it into who knows what, right? Like I'm staying focused right now on myself, this like healthy version and this vibrant version of myself without needing the medication. And so this isn't really a video about like whether or not to take medication or when to wean off medication. It's really more about the things that I try to do when I find myself in these situations that look like tapping and moving that energy, like I said, and teaching inside of Choosing You, which is my space where I teach the energy practices that I use, and showing up with my own energetic teacher and my own spiritual mentor to help guide me through this time with practices that we use. And so if you want to know more about those practices, like if you want to go deeper into that, I have a link here for an entire practice that you can do that will help you when you are feeling that shaken upness in your body and you're feeling like shaken to your core and you want to recalibrate the energy and recalibrate your nervous system and be able to sit in the muck and safely move through all of that to whatever your desired outcome is. So that's all I have for you today. I'd love to know what you think about this, what your experience is. Like I said, this is my experience with weaning off of a medication, and it's been really interesting how it has mirrored some of my cancer experience as far as that discomfort. And I'm super grateful that now that I have these tools. But I want to hear from you. Like, I think this is a conversation that is worth having. So, all right, I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.